Holy crap. Hello?
The 1970s had its own unique style, and many home decor items from that era have been forgotten over time. From bold patterns and shag carpets to funky furniture and retro color palettes, these once trendy pieces evoke the free-spirited essence of a decade filled with self-expression and innovation. Join us as we dive into 20 forgotten home decor items from the 1970s. Number 1. Patterned brown and orange wallpaper. Back in the 1970s, brown and orange patterned wallpaper was everywhere. It was the ultimate style statement, found in living rooms, kitchens, and even bathrooms. These bold designs, often featuring oversized flowers, geometric shapes, or swirls, were meant to give homes a cozy, earthy vibe. People loved how warm and inviting the colors felt, and the funky patterns were seen as super modern and trendy. The whole look was inspired by the natural tones of the time: harvest gold appliances, wood paneling, and shag carpets. Brown and orange paired perfectly with those elements, creating a space that felt both stylish and harmonious. Everyone wanted their home to meet up with the times, and this wallpaper was an easy way to achieve that. With time, the love affair with brown and orange started to fizzle out. Taste shifted toward lighter, brighter colors like pastels and soft neutrals. People wanted their homes to feel more open and airy rather than dark and heavy. The patterns, once seen as fresh and bold, began to look dated and overwhelming. Removing wallpaper also became a huge hassle, and many homeowners decided to ditch the trend altogether for simpler painted walls. These days, brown and orange wallpaper is a throwback. It might pop up in retro-inspired designs, but for the most part, it's remembered as one of those iconic 70s trends that defined an era but eventually faded away. What do you think the next one might be? Stay tuned as we travel back to the 70s. Number 2. Conversation pits. These were the ultimate social hotspots in the 1970s. Imagine a sunken seating area built right into the floor, usually surrounded by plush cushions and cozy sofas. Conversation pits were designed to bring people together, creating an intimate space where friends and family could gather, relax, and talk. They were all about low lighting, shag carpets, and maybe a coffee table in the center for drinks or snacks. The design felt modern and futuristic, often inspired by mid-century architecture. If you had a conversation pit, it meant your house was cutting edge. But like many bold design trends, conversation pits eventually fell out of favor. With time, people wanted more practical and open layouts. Sunken areas started to feel like a safety hazard, especially for clumsy guests, and the maintenance of keeping those deep carpets clean was no joke. Plus, tastes shifted towards simpler, more versatile furniture arrangements. Number 3. Shag carpets. Shag carpets were the flooring choice in the 1970s. Thick, fluffy, and so soft, these rugs added a vibe to any room. They came in bold colors like avocado green, mustard yellow, or burnt orange, and people loved sinking their toes into the deep pile. Whether in living rooms, bedrooms, or even bathrooms, shag carpets were a symbol of comfort and style. They made a space feel warm and cozy, especially when paired with other iconic 70s decor like beanbag chairs and wood paneling. Plus, they were perfect for lounging. Kids could sprawl out on the floor during movie nights, and adults often used them for a more relaxed, laid-back atmosphere. But shag carpets had their downsides. They were super hard to clean. Dirt, crumbs, and pet hair would get buried deep in the fibers, and vacuuming didn't always do the trick. Over time, the carpets could look matted and worn, losing their original charm. With time, people started opting for low-pile carpets or hardwood floors, which were easier to maintain and felt more modern. Despite their decline, shag carpets have seen a bit of a revival in recent years, especially in boho and retro-inspired interiors. Today's versions are often more practical and come in neutral tones. If you think this was a funny trend, what will you say about the love for bamboo? Number 4. Bamboo furniture. Bamboo furniture was a big hit in the 1970s, bringing a laid-back tropical vibe into homes. You'd find everything from bamboo chairs and coffee tables to headboards and room dividers. Often paired with bright cushions or patterned upholstery, it fit right in with the earthy bohemian aesthetic that defined the decade. Part of its charm was its versatility. You could use bamboo furniture indoors or outdoors, and it instantly made a room feel more relaxed and stylish. People loved its unique texture and warm tones, which contrasted beautifully with the era's bold colors like orange, green, and mustard yellow. But as trends shifted, bamboo furniture started losing its appeal. People moved towards more polished, modern styles with sleek metals and glass. Bamboo, seen as too casual or rustic, was phased out in favor of furniture that felt more upscale and formal. In recent years, though, bamboo furniture has made a comeback thanks to its eco-friendly appeal and vintage charm. Modern designs incorporate bamboo in sleek, minimalist ways, blending the old-school look with contemporary aesthetics. Number 5. Stereo systems. Stereo systems were the heart of every cool 1970s living room. These setups weren't just for playing music, they were statements. A typical system included a turntable for vinyl records, an AM/FM radio tuner, an amplifier, and big boxy speakers. If you were serious about your sound, you might even have a reel-to-reel tape deck. Everything was housed in sleek wood cabinets or on chrome shelves, adding to the retro vibe. People loved stereo systems because they made music a whole experience. You didn't just listen to your favorite albums, you felt them. The deep bass, crisp treble, and rich sound quality turned an ordinary living room into a mini concert venue. Whether you were grooving to disco, rocking out to Led Zeppelin, or chilling with smooth jazz, a good stereo system was essential. But these systems were more than just about sound. They were often the centerpiece of a social gathering. Friends would come over, flip through your collection, and vibe out together. Adjusting the knobs and dials to get that perfect sound was almost a ritual. With time, compact systems and portable devices like boomboxes and Walkmans started to take over. CDs replaced vinyl, and stereo systems began to feel bulky and outdated. Number 6. Wood paneling. Wood paneling was everywhere in the 1970s. It wasn't just a wall covering, it was a trend. Homes were decked out with dark, faux wood panels in living rooms, dens, and even basements. The rich, earthy tones gave spaces a cozy, rustic feel, and it paired perfectly with other trendy decor like shag carpets, leather furniture, and warm-tone lighting. Why was it so popular? For one, it was cheap and easy to install. Wood paneling could cover up less than perfect walls, instantly transforming a room without the hassle of painting or plastering. Plus, it gave homes that cabin in the woods charm, which was all the rage during a time when people were into earthy, natural aesthetics. But like most trends, wood paneling didn't stay cool forever. With time, it started to feel outdated and dark, making rooms look smaller and heavier. People wanted brighter, more open spaces with lighter colors and clean lines. Painting over the paneling became a quick fix, while others ripped it out entirely to replace it with drywall. Nowadays, wood paneling has seen a bit of a revival, but with a modern twist. Designers use lighter, real wood panels or even reclaimed wood to add texture and warmth without overwhelming a space. Whether it's a single accent wall or a more subtle take, wood paneling has come a long way from its 1970s. Number 7. Fondue sets. Fondue sets were a must-have in the 1970s. If you wanted to host a dinner party, a fondue set was the ultimate centerpiece. These sets typically included a pot, a stand, and long forks for dipping, all designed for melting cheese, chocolate, or even oil for cooking meats. Whether it was a bubbling pot of cheese for bread or creamy chocolate for fruits and marshmallows, fondue brought people together in a fun, interactive way. People loved the fondue because of its novelty and sociability. Everyone gathered around the pot, dipping and chatting. It turned a meal into a shared experience. Plus, it was easy to prepare, making it a favorite for hosts who wanted to impress without much effort. Fondue parties were so trendy that cookbooks dedicated to fondue recipes filled store shelves, and sets were popular wedding or housewarming gifts. But like many fads, fondue fell out of favor with time. People started craving lighter, quicker meals, and fondue began to feel like too much work. The sets ended up gathering dust in kitchen cabinets or being passed off at garage sales. Today, fondue is making a quiet comeback, especially for special occasions. However, modern sets are sleeker. Number 8. Amber glassware. Amber glassware was a huge trend in the 1970s, and almost every household had a collection. From drinking glasses and pitchers to vases and serving dishes, amber-colored glass brought a warm golden glow to kitchens and dining rooms. Its earthy tone fit perfectly with the decade's love for natural, autumnal colors like brown, orange, and mustard yellow. Part of the appeal was how versatile it was. Amber glassware worked for both casual meals and fancy dinner parties. The rich color added a touch of elegance while still feeling cozy and approachable. Plus, it was durable so it could handle everyday use without much worry. But with time, amber glass started to fall out of fashion as people leaned toward brighter, more modern aesthetics. Clear glass, pastel ceramics, and sleek stainless steel became the new go-to choices for tableware. Amber glassware was gradually packed away, donated, or forgotten in kitchen cabinets. These days, amber glassware is making a bit of a comeback, especially among vintage lovers and retro enthusiasts. Its warm tones and nostalgic charm can add a unique touch to modern table settings. Whether you're thrifting for original pieces or buying contemporary takes, amber glass has a way of bringing a cozy vintage vibe to any occasion. Number 9. Wall clocks with thermometers and barometers. Wall clocks with thermometers and barometers were all the rage in the 1970s, combining functionality and style in a way that was both practical and aesthetically pleasing. These clocks often had a vintage, old-fashioned look with brass or wooden frames, and they featured not only the time, but also gauges to measure temperature and air pressure. For many, they were a conversation starter as much as a useful tool. The appeal was simple. People loved having a clock that could also tell them about the weather. It was like having a mini weather station right on the wall. The thermometer would let you know if it was time to grab a jacket, while the barometer hinted at possible weather changes. Plus, the design fit perfectly into the home decor of the time. Wooden finishes and retro styling made them look great in any living room or kitchen. But with time, wall clocks with thermometers and barometers began to fall out of favor. The trend moved toward more minimalist and sleek designs, and technology like digital weather apps on phones made these multifunctional clocks feel unnecessary. Plus, their vintage aesthetic was no longer as popular as the cleaner, more modern look people were gravitating toward. Number 10. Plaid sofas. Plaid sofas were a classic feature of 1970s living rooms. These bold pattern pieces often came in earthy tones like brown, green, orange, and yellow, reflecting the era's love for warm, cozy colors. Plaid was the go-to pattern for people who wanted their furniture to stand out in a fun and retro way, adding a touch of personality to a room. The charm of plaid sofas was that they were comfortable, practical, and stylish all at once. Their bold patterns made them an eye-catching centerpiece, and they paired well with other 70s staples like shag carpets, wood paneling, and large coffee tables. Plaid was also pretty versatile. It could be found on everything from armchairs and couches to throw pillows and even curtains. However, with time, tastes shifted toward more neutral, minimalist designs. Plaid was seen as too busy and dated, especially as people leaned towards solid colors or simple patterns for a cleaner, more modern look. The vibrant plaid sofas that once ruled living rooms were quickly swapped out for sleeker, more subtle designs. Number 11. Beaded door curtains. Beaded door curtains were a big trend in the 1970s, adding a touch of fun and bohemian flair to homes. These curtains, made of strands of colorful beads, were often hung in doorways or between rooms instead of traditional doors. When you walked through them, the beads would softly jingle and sway, creating a playful and relaxed atmosphere. They were a perfect fit for the 1970s, especially in homes that embraced the boho or hippie aesthetic. Beaded curtains were used to divide spaces, add a pop of color, or even as a funky way to hide clutter or create privacy in smaller rooms. The beads came in all kinds of materials: plastic, wood, glass, and in a range of colors, often in earthy tones or bright, bold shades. They were an affordable and easy way to make a statement and were especially popular in bedrooms or living rooms. Plus, they gave off a relaxed, informal vibe, perfect for casual gatherings and hangouts. With time, beaded curtains had fallen out of fashion. People started favoring more structured, practical ways to divide space, and the boho look gave way to sleeker, more contemporary designs. Beaded curtains also had a reputation for being a bit kitschy, so they weren't as desirable in the more minimalist homes of the time. Number 12. Terrariums. Terrariums were a popular home decor trend in the 1970s, offering a little slice of nature indoors. These glass-enclosed mini gardens became a hit because they were easy to care for and added a peaceful, earthy element to homes. People loved them because they brought a bit of greenery into spaces, especially for those who didn't have green thumbs or didn't want to deal with the mess of larger plants. A typical terrarium was a glass container, often in the shape of a globe, cube, or even a vase, filled with plants like ferns, moss, and small succulents. The plants thrived in the humid, sealed environment, and the glass acted as a mini ecosystem, making terrariums low maintenance and self-sustaining. Terrariums also fit perfectly with the 70s love for nature-inspired decor. They were often placed on coffee tables, windowsills, or bookshelves, adding a bit of greenery without taking up too much space. Plus, they gave off a calming atmosphere that was great for the peaceful, earthy aesthetics that were popular at the time. With time, terrariums started to fall out of favor. People moved toward more modern and minimalist interior designs, and the trend of cluttered, nature-heavy decor faded. The glass containers were replaced with sleek, angular furniture and synthetic materials. Today, terrariums are experiencing a revival, especially vintage-inspired homes. They're easy to customize with different types of plants, decorative stones, or tiny figurines, making them a trendy, low-maintenance way to add greenery to any space. Whether they're hanging from a ceiling or placed on a shelf, terrariums still bring a little bit of that 70s natural charm back into modern interiors. Number 13. Popcorn ceilings. Popcorn ceilings, also known as acoustic ceilings, were a major trend in the 1970s. They were used to cover imperfections in the ceiling and help with soundproofing, which was especially useful in apartments or noisy homes. The textured finish, which resembled popcorn or cottage cheese, was sprayed onto ceilings to create a bumpy, uneven surface that could hide any flaws. People loved them because they were easy and cheap to apply, making them a popular choice for builders and homeowners looking for a quick, affordable fix. Plus, it was a big part of the trend toward more casual, relaxed home design at the time. Everything from shag carpets to wood paneling felt cozy and laid back, and popcorn ceilings fit right in. However, with time, people started to move away from the look. The texture was difficult to clean, and dust and cobwebs would get trapped in the bumps. Plus, some older popcorn ceilings contained asbestos, which made them hazardous to remove. As a result, homeowners started opting for smoother, more modern ceiling finishes that were easier to maintain and looked cleaner. Number 14. Mushroom lamps. Mushroom lamps were a quirky and fun lighting trend that emerged in the 1970s, perfectly capturing the playful and eclectic vibe of the era. These lamps had wide, rounded tops that resembled mushroom caps, often made from plastic or ceramic, with short, stubby bases. They came in a variety of colors, with earthy tones like browns, oranges, and yellows being especially popular, matching the earthy palette of the 70s.
And look, they even have an on and off switch.
What made mushroom lamps so special was their retro futuristic look. They were often designed to be low to the ground, sitting on side tables or nightstands, and their soft, diffused light created a warm, cozy atmosphere. They were especially favored in living rooms, bedrooms, or even as accent pieces in cozy corners. The playful design and soft glow made them a fun way to add both light and character to a room. With time, the mushroom lamp style started to feel a little too cutesy and dated. Number 15. Wagon wheel chandelier. Wagon wheel chandeliers were a bold and rustic statement piece in many 1970s homes, especially for those embracing a country or Western-style decor. These chandeliers were designed to look like old-fashioned wagon wheels, with the circular frame often made of wood or metal, and candle holders placed around the wheel. The result was a dramatic, large fixture that could light up a whole room while bringing a bit of frontier flair into the space. These chandeliers were popular in dining rooms, kitchens, or even entryways, adding an earthy Western vibe to homes. The design was often associated with a rustic or cabin-style aesthetic, matching other 1970s trends like wood paneling, plaid fabrics, and leather furniture. It gave off a cozy, welcoming atmosphere, and for some, it felt like the ultimate way to create a homely, country-inspired vibe indoors. However, with time, the wagon wheel chandelier fell out of fashion. As design trends shifted towards more modern, sleek, and minimalist styles, the large, bulky chandelier started to feel out of place in more contemporary homes. Plus, they were sometimes seen as a little too kitschy or over the top for everyday living spaces. Number 16. Ceramic owls figurine. Ceramic owl figurines were a staple in 1970s home decor, adding a touch of whimsy and charm to many living rooms and shelves. These owls, often crafted from ceramic and painted in earthy tones like brown, orange, and yellow, were seen as symbols of wisdom and mystery. Their wide eyes and quirky expressions made them endearing, and they quickly became a favorite for collectors and home decorators alike. The trend fit well with the 70s love for nature-inspired designs, as owls were often associated with forests, the outdoors, and a more organic, earthy lifestyle. Whether perched on mantels, coffee tables, or windowsills, these little ceramic owls added personality to a room and were often used to complete a boho or retro-inspired aesthetic. However, as the 80s approached, the trend started to fade. People began gravitating toward more minimalist and sleek designs, and the kitschy charm of ceramic owls seemed a bit too playful for the new, more formal interior trends. They were eventually replaced by more contemporary figurines and decor items. Today, ceramic owls are appreciated for their nostalgic charm and often seen in boho, vintage, or nature-inspired spaces. Whether they're perched on a shelf or displayed as part of a collection, ceramic owl figurines still bring a bit of quirky nostalgia to modern-day interiors. Number 17. Mirrored walls. Mirrored walls were a bold and glamorous trend in the 1970s, giving homes a touch of luxury and a sense of space. These walls, made up of large mirrored panels or tiles, were used to cover entire walls in living rooms, dining rooms, or even bedrooms. The reflective surfaces created a striking visual effect, making rooms feel brighter, larger, and more open. They also reflected light in interesting ways, adding a bit of sparkle and drama to the decor. The appeal of mirrored walls was partly due to the era's love for opulence and flash. Everything from disco balls to metallic furniture was in style, and mirrored walls were the perfect complement to the shiny, futuristic look people were going for. In addition, the mirrored surface often reflected other trendy elements, like bold colors, funky furniture, and plush textiles, making everything feel more stylish and dramatic. However, with time, the appeal for mirrored walls to fade. As design trends shifted toward more neutral, soft, and understated styles, mirrors began to feel too flashy or dated. Plus, the reflections could sometimes make rooms feel chaotic, especially if they were crowded with too much furniture or decor. People began removing or covering up the mirrors in favor of more traditional wall treatments like paint, wallpaper, or wood paneling. Today, mirrored walls are mostly considered outdated, but they still pop up occasionally in retro-inspired or maximalist interiors. Some modern designers use mirrors strategically to create a sense of space or reflect natural light, but in smaller doses, perhaps as accent mirrors or decorative pieces. Despite their fall from grace, mirrored walls still remind us of the bold, shiny aesthetic of the 1970s. Number 18. Avocado green appliances. Avocado green appliances were one of the signature colors of 1970s kitchens, reflecting the decade's love for bold, earthy tones. The color was seen as fresh, modern, and a bit edgy, and it became hugely popular for refrigerators, stoves, dishwashers, and even microwaves. These appliances often came in matte or glossy finishes, with the green shade adding a pop of color that stood out against the neutral tones of most kitchens. The appeal of avocado green was partly due to the era's fascination with nature and organic living. The color felt earthy and connected to the outdoors, fitting perfectly with the overall design aesthetic of the 70s, which embraced warm, earthy hues like mustard yellow, burnt orange, and brown. For many, avocado green was a fun, stylish alternative to the more traditional white or stainless steel appliances, giving kitchens a unique retro feel. With time, avocado green appliances quickly fell out of favor. People began to favor sleeker, more neutral designs, and the bold color started to feel outdated. White, black, and stainless steel became the preferred finishes for appliances, while avocado green went from being a chic choice to a sign of a kitchen stuck in the past. Today, though they may not be as common in modern kitchens, vintage models can still be found in retro-style homes or as collector's items for those who appreciate the quirky charm of this once popular color, whether it's for the nostalgia or to embrace that groovy vintage vibe. Avocado green appliances are still a fun throwback to a time when bold colors ruled the kitchen. Number 19. Rotary phones. Rotary phones were a quintessential part of 1970s homes, known for their distinctive round dials and mechanical clicking sounds as you rotated the numbers to make a call. Unlike the push-button phones that would come later, rotary phones required a bit of effort to dial each number. You would rotate the dial to each number, which took longer than modern phones, but it became a familiar and even enjoyable part of phone use at the time. The appeal of rotary phones was partly nostalgic, even back then, as they were seen as a more classic way of making calls compared to newer, sleeker designs. They came in a range of colors, from black and white to more vibrant shades like red, orange, and even avocado green. And they were often a stylish focal point on any desk or phone table. The simplicity and durability of rotary phones made them a household staple, and they were considered a symbol of traditional communication. With time, however, the rotary phones started to seem outdated. The new push-button phones were faster and more efficient, offering features like tone dialing that made connecting to certain services easier. The rise of cordless phones in the 90s further pushed rotary phones into obsolescence, making them feel even more like relics of the past. Today, rotary phones are mostly seen as vintage or collector's items. They're popular in retro or mid-century modern home decor, and some people even keep them as quirky decorative pieces or conversation starters. Although they may no longer be practical for modern communication, their charming design and connection to the past continue to make them a beloved symbol of pre-digital life. Number 20. Faux fur. Faux fur throws and rugs were a big deal in the 1970s, adding a cozy and luxurious touch to living rooms, bedrooms, and even bathrooms. These plush, soft pieces mimicked the look and feel of real fur, but were made from synthetic materials, making them more affordable and accessible. Faux fur throws would drape over couches or beds, while faux fur rugs often adorned floors, creating a warm, inviting atmosphere. The appeal of faux fur was partly due to its plush, comforting texture, which made a room feel extra cozy. It also had a bit of a glam factor. Faux fur was often seen as a way to elevate a space and add a touch of opulence without the guilt of using real animal fur. The luxurious feel of faux fur fit in perfectly with the 70s love for comfort and excess. People loved to pile up these throws on furniture or use them as accent pieces, matching them with shag carpets and other cozy home decor trends. However, with time, faux fur started to feel a bit dated as interior design trends shifted toward cleaner, more minimalist looks. The 80s ushered in a more modern, streamlined aesthetic, and faux fur's over-the-top, plush vibe didn't quite fit in with the new, more polished style. Today, faux fur throws and rugs are making a bit of a comeback in homes. While they're not as popular they once were, they're still loved for their soft texture and cozy feel, adding a touch of warmth to spaces. Faux fur is also a sustainable alternative to real fur, making it a popular choice for people who want to bring a bit of luxurious comfort into their home without compromising on ethics. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.